Hello and welcome to the Hardcore Gamers Club. My name is Daniel and this is a follow-up video. A couple hours after I posted the last video, I made this video. I wanted to show you guys what it looks like for somebody who actually went to school for electronics and soldering and that and the like. What it looks like after the HDMI port has been replaced, but before the board has been cleaned up from the flux and everything. Okay, so this is what a proper repair would look like for an HDMI port replacement before the cleanup of the flux. Okay, I have not cleaned up any flux. Okay, and you remember what that last one was? I'll put a link in the description and a shortcut at the upper right corner of this where the little eye is to the last video that I showed where the guy, a licensed storefront, actually ripped this guy off twice for in excess of $200 over a couple of month period of time because his work failed and he charged him again. And the guy, even though he is a licensed storefront, and I have confirmed who it is, but I'm going to leave that to the customer to actually put that in the comment section of the video. That way, because I haven't seen a receipt and I'm only can go off his word, so I can tell you that I have put up videos of this same individual in the past for putting bolts and washers and using a heat gun designed to remove paint from furniture to repair the Xbox 360s back in the day. But he's still in business apparently and still learning off his customers because you've seen the work that he did previous. So I want to kind of go through here. Okay, now I want to just kind of touch on this. I noticed just before I started to make the video. You see this? This is the original thermal paste from the manufacturer. Okay, it's even a little bit dry, which means the guy that did the HDMI port repair, not once, mind you, but twice, recycled the thermal paste on the guy's CPU. Okay, if you're the guy that did the repair, come on man, the slightest piece of dust is going to cause an air gap in that and is going to cause the CPU to run excessively hotter than normal, which can lead to burnout. I know a tube of Arctic Silver costs about $6, but you're only using about 10 to 15 cents worth of it per chip, and I would venture to say about 10 cents worth of Arctic Silver 5 on this chip would be perfectly fine and would be good once the chip is cleaned up and replaced. So please, for God's sakes, do not recycle the thermal paste from the factory. It's pretty much crap to start with. Although it's suitable for the job, it's pretty much crap to start with. Okay, so let's take a look at the back side of the board. Now, after cleaning it up, I did find that he, using his soldering iron or whatever, burned off the majority of the contact on the bottom side here, underneath his underneath here where the pads are, and they were filled with solder, so a little bit more solder on flowed down into the legs than I cared for. But let's take a closer look here. Okay, alright, now remember I have not yet cleaned up the flux. Okay, there's the top of the leg. The legs are completely immersed in the solder. The solder is actually attached to what's left of the solder contact on the motherboard. So that's why it's kind of getting a little bit of a rounded effect here and here, because the contacts were mostly burned off and the well was still full of a lot of solder, so a lot more of it came up than should have. But this is still acceptable. All right, this is acceptable. I would like to probably touch this up and bring this down a little bit, but this would be acceptable. But what I showed you in the last video, that was unacceptable. Okay, so let me talk to you a bit. And sorry I'm going to ramble on, so if you don't want to hear what I have to say, go ahead and click away, but I want to talk to you guys about repair shops. Seriously, 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 you guys need to ask for education in component level electronics, proof that they've had a soldering class, something, maybe a military background in electronics. Ask them if they have any education or military background. Ask them for proof of it. I've had so many people tell me, oh, I asked them and they showed me their Microsoft certification. Okay, seriously, Microsoft is a software company. They do not certify in component level electronics repairs or soldering. Okay, so don't fall for that lie. If they show you a video like I do showing verification of military background and experience, or a DD-214 or something like that, showing that they were avionics of some sort in the military is not going to let anybody touch electronics unless they've had some classes at a minimum and then continue their education on the job under the supervision of somebody who has. Myself, in the military, I was a component level electronics tech. I used to repair all the flight navigation, weapon stability platforms, onboard computers for all the helicopters. At one time, I also worked on night vision equipment in the batteries. At one time, I was supervisor in charge over the avionics shop, the night vision equipment shop, the battery shop, all simultaneously. I was in charge of completing the training for a lot of these guys coming out of AIT, fresh out of AIT. When my son got ripped off from the guy working for Play and Trade, who murdered his system on a repair that wasn't even requested, going straight to a YouTube bolt job, I opened a shop and started offering services, very, very, very low cost services to everybody around, to keep you guys away from these predators, these child predators. I put them in the same category as pedophiles. They are child predators. I don't know how they sleep at night knowing full well that they're stealing from children. They might be thinking and justifying it in their head that they're stealing from the adults, but no. Especially when it comes to these HDMI port replacements. Do you not understand that 99% of every single HDMI port replacement that the game system is considered to be the child's, the adult will force them to pay out of their piggy bank, their savings, their allowance, in order to get the repair completed because they dropped their game system. Right? It is a disgusting criminal practice to watch YouTube videos, say you're self-taught, and offer services to the public for charge. Okay, it is just a flat criminal act. In my opinion, apparently there's no real laws against it because anybody can pay for a license to open a store, and the Bureau of Electronic and Appliance Repairs, although they do govern as much as they can't go to everybody and check their actual background and stuff. Although they did ask for mine on the application, but I don't know what else to tell you. Primarily, they're just worried about you throwing away the wrong stuff and it getting into the landfills. But yeah, please, please, please ask your repairman for education in electronics, or you're going to get a YouTube repair job. I don't know why so many of you think, oh, I can just take it to a teenager and have them fix it. Teenagers are not born knowing electronics. They go on YouTube. That's the only place they can go. They might go to some of the internet forums, but at best, you're gonna get an uneducated repair, because no matter what is wrong with this system, no matter what, video, HDMI, I get this call a lot. I need my HDMI port replaced. How much is it going to cost? Well, I charge $75 and I give you a 1-year warranty that does in fact cover accidental damage. But is your port visibly damaged? No, it's not visibly damaged. I can't see anything wrong with it. Okay, well then, just because it has no video does not mean it's even the HDMI port. Any of these components in here, any of the components in here, over here, can cause you to have no video. Okay, there's no such thing as one symptom being only one thing. Some people call problems common, but that's not true. They are not common. No video can be any one of 1,000 components on this particular board for not having any video. So no matter how accurately they describe your issue, if you try to repair your game system on their advice and or suggestion on what could possibly be wrong, you will destroy your game system. In fact, I would venture to say, and this is being generous, 90% of everybody that tries to repair a game system off of a YouTube video fail miserably and destroy their system. An additional 5% might accidentally have the right issue that still destroys their system because they're not capable of knowing that they need to use proper tools or what they can and cannot touch on this board. Okay, and then the remaining 5% of that last 1% might accidentally get their game system working. And then, unfortunately for a lot of you guys, they start offering services for repair because they were successful. Oh my God. Really? You guys need to ask for education. If you had a repair done from another shop around here, you bring it to me. If I see something hokey like that, I'll video it, put it up on here so that you can sue them and get all your money back plus punitive damages, because this is criminal. Okay, you cannot offer services for repair without any kind of education. Self-education is no education whatsoever. Okay, seriously, it costs a whole of $50 to file paperwork. You'll win in court. You'll get all of your money back plus that $50 to cover your expenses, and possibly even punitive damages if you got a good video showing exactly what they did from a licensed repair shop that has education in electronics and is willing to help you and potentially even go to court with you to testify on your behalf, saying that the work was substandard. I showed you the work this guy did on the system. A 12-year-old could have done better work with a single soldering class in school. Okay, just because he runs a game shop does not mean he knows electronics. It just means he's selling electronics. He might know how some of them work, but he don't know electronics when it comes to these tiny little pieces here or anything. He don't know jack about them other than what he learned off of YouTube and internet forums from other people that learned off YouTube. Okay, please, 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 please ask for education in electronics, or you'll get ripped off just like the owner of this game system. This repair will be successful. Everything went fine. All of the parts look good. I do believe this will fire right up, and I'll put a comment in the comment section below letting you know whether or not anything else was damaged, but it was working for a little while before it went out, so it should be perfectly fine Just need to clean this old thermal paste out of here and reapply new paste and get them up and going. Oh, I did notice that 2 of these little heat transfer pads were also left off of the repair. I just thought of that. Sorry I made this video so long. Stay safe, happy gaming everybody. Bye.